everyone. I'm Marija Blažič, teacher of mathematics. Sorry. Of the Dobie Primary School. My teacher guideline is to create a condition where students will feel safe and fulfilled, where the students forms an independent personality who will be able to acquire and seek new knowledge, raising a healthy, calm, cultured, and satisfied adolescent. I'm aware that the education system has a key role to play in this, as it educated people from an early age. Together with other colleagues, we are building a school without stress, without violence, fear, and school in which teachers and students feel satisfied and improved after class. As a school, we share common values, key factors that influence what people do, how we do, and how we feel about it. The school participates in many international projects. Teachers are constantly educating themselves, even from each other. We are interdisciplinary. We build on foundations that emphasizes the development of transversal skills, which are important for the development of the individual, his creativity, intelligence, and learning abilities. The development of STEM competition with elements of formative monitoring using digital tools ensures the comprehensive development of the students. New times, new requirements for teaching children that will give them useful knowledge. Students become responsible for their own knowledge. Why do we even need this knowledge? They know how to plan their work, set goals, and evaluate them. The role of teacher is changing, encouraging, directing, and giving effective feedback. Knowledge is valuable and it must also remain. It's necessary to create a climate. It's necessary to create a climate among students that will provide students with an environment in which they feel safe and so their creativity and curiosity can be expressed. With students' involvement and assignment, the student is informed that he important part in the process and we take the role and responsibility for his action and the success and failure of the group. He realizes that his work is important and unique for the group. We give to the group and we get even more from them, from it. So the students become responsible for their own knowledge. They know how to critically evaluate work and give in constructive criticism. Students become responsible for their knowledge. The role of the teacher is decisive. Not only with the word, it is necessary to use different methods and forms of work so that students themselves learn the importance of knowledge and respect for others. It's necessary. A little more information, informal forms are give a special charm, such as interesting activities, where we hang out with students from 1st to 9th grade. We learn elsewhere, smaller than larger, and vice versa. Students want to know, they do not transcribe. Students become each other's source of teaching. In such activities, we participate in competition, create, equip the classroom. These activities connect students. We participate in competition, contents, organize events, excursions. The result, however, show excellence in competition for a school with just over 100 students. The basic digital tool we use for 365. It offers the teacher and the student many opportunities to follow the lessons and gather evidence. In math, the OneNote class notebook has become a tool for us on how to effectively following the steps of formative monitoring. There are quite a few programs in the cloud which we can create and also store our work. There is also a space for exchanging options, and online notebook is available to everyone at home and at school. The students has a detailed overview of what is happening in class and homework. However, the notebook also makes certain content not visible to everyone. We load the study material into the notebook, collect evidence. The notebook allows the insert of images, animation, connections, mathematical equations. We can write in it for free. In fact, it's a substitute for a student's notebook. Individual parts of the notebook, they write down all the steps of formative monitoring. In the e-portfolio, in the tab of My Learning, prior knowledge, goals and criteria, strategies, evidence, self-evaluation, and achieved goals. Students identify prior knowledge, photograph the evidence and attack into a notebook. Pupils themselves set goals and criteria for the topics covered, which serves as a basis for them to put together a task in pairs, which is later solved by classmates. Also write a criteria. Next. Next. When composing tasks, we start from the applicability of knowledge. We look for the live exams and are close to the students. Next. In solving the task of research, they write down all the stage in a notebook, attach evidence, photographs. They then evaluate the task according to the criteria and also give written feedback on the knowledge of classmates. The criticism were very constructive. The delivery was correct. They focused on the good and also what else can be improved. The students are very satisfied with the way they work. Criticism may have been a little harder to accept at times, but they soon found that it couldn't get any better without it. Others see differently. Next. Students also comment on how the task is composed. Feedback, comments. Next. Some evaluation and that's also write something of themselves, write themselves. Next. Also, teaching is next. Also, criticism and next. Teaching is a process that is constantly changing. Changes in society also require changes in the education system. Teachers need to be sensitive to what is happening, and we need to enable students to be able to meet the challenges of modern times. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. We have now time for some questions. As you can see, we made a transitions from university students to secondary students and now to pupils in primary schools. And this is maybe a group that was the most challenging to use digital tools and virtual environments and so on. So I'm sure that there are questions please stay here for a moment. Are there any questions now from the floor? Here, students. We now have another microphone, so I can stay here.
Thank you for your presentation. So I would like to ask whether you think that students grading themselves or each other is as fair or even more fair than teachers grading students, because students can take into consideration the amount of work others put in, but another thing to think about is the personal relations between students, so they could overgrade them because they're friends. Torej, če je enako pravično, da dijaki oziroma učenci ocenjujejo sami sebe ali druge, če vzamemo ja, če v redu.
Ja, zelo kritično se ocenijo, realno ocenijo. Zelo realno se ocenijo, zato ker nismo imeli nekih, mogoče celo včasih bolj kritično kot učitelj. Izkazalo se je zelo dobro to in tudi sodelovanje se je izboljšalo. Tudi tistih učencev, ki ne sodelujejo, so ob takem načinu dela začeli delati in dejansko kritično ocenili sami sebe, mogoče včasih še bolj kot učitelj. Dejansko nobenih problemov ni.
Okay, Marija, I will just shortly translate this. Marija told us that they were maybe even more strict pupils than teachers would be. They were more cooperative. So while doing this, the cooperation was building up. So it was one of the positive things that was a side effect of this peer assessment that they implemented.